The concept of the allure of Atlantis and simulation theory merges two fascinating narratives. Atlantis, a legendary island first mentioned by Plato, captivates with tales of an advanced utopian society that vanished under mysterious circumstances. Meanwhile, simulation theory postulates that reality, as we perceive it, might be an artificial simulation akin to a sophisticated computer program. Together, these concepts suggest that the myth of Atlantis could be a perceived anomaly or Easter egg planted within our simulated existence, a clue hinting at the artificial nature of our reality. This idea is significant because it challenges conventional understandings of history and reality, encouraging us to question the authenticity of both ancient myths and our existence. The intrigue of Atlantis, combined with simulation theory, invites us to explore the possibility that legends might be coded messages designed to provoke curiosity and insight into the true nature of our universe. In terms of real-world applications, the enduring fascination with Atlantis continues to inspire explorations in both virtual and physical realms. For instance, the search for Atlantis has led to advancements in underwater archaeology, motivating expeditions to unearth historical truths from deep beneath the ocean's surface. Similarly, the popularity of virtual reality technology has brought simulation theory to life, offering immersive experiences that blur the lines between the real and the synthetic. Proponents of simulation theory, like philosopher Nick Bostrom, argue that if we accept the high probability of future civilizations running ancestor simulations, it becomes plausible that we might already be living in such a simulation. This perspective suggests that seemingly inexplicable phenomena like the legend of Atlantis could serve as deliberate constructs within this simulated framework to both reassure and perplex us. However, this integration of Atlantis into simulation theory is not without controversy. Skeptics dismiss it as speculative and lacking empirical evidence, arguing that it borders on pseudoscience and detracts from more plausible historical investigations. Additionally, it poses ethical dilemmas by questioning free will and the authenticity of human experience. Despite these challenges, the allure of Atlantis within the context of simulation theory enriches the broader conversation about the boundaries of history, mythology, and reality. It invites us to consider whether Atlantis is more than a mythical tale, potentially a key component in unraveling the mystery of existence itself. This notion dovetails with other aspects of the main topic by challenging individuals to explore new dimensions of understanding and questioning the very fabric of our perceived reality. The concept of Atlantis as history's biggest simulation theory Easter egg combines the ancient legend of Atlantis with the modern idea of simulation theory, suggesting that this enduring myth might serve as a clue or insight into the nature of our reality. Atlantis, historically introduced by Plato, describes an advanced yet ultimately doomed civilization. It has captivated imaginations for centuries, influencing a myriad of cultural, scientific, and philosophical discussions. Simulation theory posits that our reality could be an artificial simulation, akin to a computer-generated environment. When these two concepts intertwine, the myth of Atlantis may be seen as a potential nudge from the creators of such a simulation, hinting at the artificial nature of our perceived reality. This connection is significant because it invites a reconsideration of myths and narratives as potential breadcrumbs left by advanced simulators, challenging our understanding of history and consciousness. The idea that ancient stories could be deliberately embedded within a simulated environment adds an intriguing layer to the conversation about reality, human existence, and perception. A real-world application of this concept is evident in popular culture, where films like The Matrix explore realities simulated by more advanced civilizations. In literature, stories such as those by Philip K. Dick often touch on realities shaped by unseen forces, echoing the Atlantis as simulation Easter egg idea. These narratives stimulate discourse on personal agency, technological control, and existential inquiry. Supporters of this view argue that the persistence and allure of myths like Atlantis suggest an underlying truth or message about our origins and purpose, encouraging us to broaden our understanding of reality. However, challenges arise from the inherently speculative nature of simulation theory. Critics assert that viewing myths as simulation clues can lead to neglecting their cultural and historical significance, reducing them to mere artifacts of conjecture. Additionally, the notion that all experiences and stories might be artificially constructed can be disconcerting, challenging the validity of human experiences and memories. Despite these controversies, the Atlantis simulation connection enriches the broader conversation about simulation theory by compelling individuals to reflect on the narratives that shape our worldview. This perspective can influence contemporary discussions on technology's role in shaping perception, the evolution of consciousness, and the quest for truth. Therefore, while the Atlantis myth may remain a topic of debate, its possible link to simulation theory continues to inspire and provoke profound questions about the fabric of reality. The historical context of Plato's account of Atlantis is pivotal when examining the idea that the myth of Atlantis could be considered one of history's biggest simulation theory Easter eggs. Plato, in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, introduced Atlantis as an advanced civilization that allegedly existed around 9,000 years before his time, describing its eventual downfall due to moral decay and divine retribution. This tale has captured imaginations for centuries, and some suggest that Plato's narrative might represent more than just allegorical storytelling. It could be interpreted as a precursor to simulation theory, positing that our reality might not be as concrete as we assume. The significance of Plato's account rests on its enduring influence on both historical and philosophical discussions about reality and human nature. His detailed description of a seemingly utopian society gone awry serves as a poignant reflection on the dangers of hubris and corruption. It raises profound questions about the nature of history and reality itself, suggesting that what we perceive might be crafted or manipulated. One real-world application of this concept is its influence on literary and cultural productions. The story of Atlantis has inspired countless works of fiction, films, and even scientific inquiry, encouraging audiences to consider the possibility of undiscovered history or alternative realities. Additionally, the story parallels religious and philosophical teachings about moral decline and its consequences, providing a versatile framework for understanding human civilization's rise and fall. Supporters of the simulation theory might argue that Atlantis functions as an early narrative exploring the boundaries of perceived reality. Esteemed physicists like Nick Bostrom have notably discussed the simulation hypothesis, suggesting our experiences could be part of a simulated environment, much like the story of Atlantis exists within the framework of Plato's dialogues. Conversely, skeptics and historians often criticize the Atlantis narrative as purely fictional, a philosophical allegory rather than a historical account, challenging its validity as evidence of historical, let alone simulated, realities. Overall, Plato's account of Atlantis influences the discussion of simulation by prompting us to question the reliability of historical narratives and the nature of reality. This exploration enhances our understanding of human perception, inviting parallels between ancient storytelling and modern technological hypotheses. The myth's enigmatic nature keeps it relevant in philosophical discourse, continually challenging the boundaries between myth and reality, much like simulation theory itself. The idea that the myth of Atlantis could be seen as history's biggest simulation theory, Easter egg, presents a fascinating fusion of ancient legends and modern technological concepts. Simulation theory suggests that our reality might be an artificial simulation created by an advanced civilization, much like a computer-generated environment. An Easter egg, in digital culture, refers to a hidden message, feature, or inside joke placed in a computer program, movie, or video game. Thus, imagining Atlantis as a simulation theory, Easter egg, implies that the story of Atlantis is a deliberate clue left by the creators of our simulation to signal that our reality may not be as it seems. The significance of considering Atlantis as such an Easter egg lies in its potential to challenge our understanding of existence and provoke philosophical inquiries into the nature of reality. Atlantis, as described by Plato, was an advanced civilization that mysteriously disappeared, sparking curiosity and speculation throughout history. If viewed through the lens of simulation theory, Atlantis could be seen as a purposeful narrative anomaly, encouraging us to question the authenticity of our world, much like Plato's allegories challenge perception. Real-world applications of this concept can be seen in modern virtual reality platforms such as VR chat or experiences like the movie The Matrix. Both suggest that meticulously constructed alternative realities can influence one's perception of what is real. These technologies illustrate how complex realities can be simulated, reinforcing the notion that our own world could be a simulation with its own Easter eggs. Supporters of this idea, like tech entrepreneur Elon Musk, posit that advancements in virtual reality and AI increase the likelihood that our universe is itself a complex simulation. They argue that as technological progression continues, creating indistinguishable digital realities will become possible, supporting the plausibility of our simulated existence. However, there are challenges and controversies associated with this viewpoint. Critics argue that simulation theory is unfalsifiable and relies on speculation rather than empirical evidence. Additionally, traditional historians and scientists may view the linking of Atlantis with simulation theory as a dismissal of geological and archaeological research focusing on natural cataclysms or human storytelling. This notion connects to broader aspects of the main topic by highlighting the intersection of mythology, technology, and philosophical inquiry. It prompts audiences to rethink ancient myths like Atlantis, not merely as relics of the past, but as contemporary clues woven into the fabric of potential simulated realities, inviting deeper exploration of how narratives shape our understanding of existence.